Hi, my name is Brenda Titus. I'm a professional hypnotist in Orange County, California. For information about myself and my program, including in-person sessions, please go to my website, ochypnotherapy.com. And welcome to this week's Thoughts from the Hypnosis Office. Today we are talking about birthdays. And I like to think about the topic, I like to call it, Your Birthday is Your Own Personal New Year. So the first part of when we think about a new year, and we can think about, the calendar new year, and there's some other different times that we can think about seasons and cycles, but I do like the birthday as our own personal new year. And so when we think about the new year kind of energy, regardless of if it's your birthday or some other time of year that you're going to acknowledge a new cycle. So first, I like to think obviously about the new part. So the new year is a fresh start, right? So whatever happened in the past, it's like turning the page. So maybe we can think about it like a new chapter. We might think about this new year time as goal setting. And so that's the first part around, honoring your birthday as a personal new year. It's your time to really reflect on the things that are important, the fresh start that you want to make, the new chapter that you'd like to write, and of course what is important to you to achieve in the coming cycle. So that's the first part when we think about, this idea of your birthday as your new year. The other part has to do with reflecting and acknowledging achievement from the last cycle. And I do think that is important. Notice when we talked about the fresh start that sometimes it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I can't, thankfully this part's over, and so now I'm looking forward to the new part, right? And so, but sometimes it is important to acknowledge, some sort of celebrating the past cycle, and some sort of completion, maybe acknowledging, oh, those goals that I made last year or 6 months ago or whatever, look at, I did it. Actually, I had a client the other day who she said, well, I made a 30 before 30 list, and I said, great, let's look at it, and immediately incorporated that in. I knew exactly when her next birthday was. We've got 11 months, and so we started really thinking about, okay, what are these things that are important, and how can we make them happen? And so there is something about acknowledging your birthday as like a finish line, a place that you're working towards. So two parts of how we can think about that birthday as the new year. So, and obviously usually we're looking at some sort of combination of both, celebrating or acknowledging or sometimes mourning what has been the previous cycle, and also building and a new fresh start as well, and what we want to accomplish in the coming year. Now, the reason I like to talk about the birthday as our new year is that it is uniquely yours. And, usually you don't share your birthday with somebody else. Now, sometimes people do. I know some family friends, and I know two sets where the sisters share a birthday. So, so that is actually kind of a unique, special bond. And obviously, sometimes people's birthdays are on Christmas or some other significant day. So technically, we might have to share it. But there is the idea of that unique and personal nature. It's not like, especially when we think about, maybe you're celebrating it with other people and you're sharing it in that respect, but you're not necessarily thinking about it in terms of, like I said, that kind of new year energy, the new cycle, the new chapter. So I do think that is a really important thing. It is uniquely yours. Now, I want to be clear about one thing. It's not about a selfish idea of uniquely yours, but it is actually something that is personal. And so while I use the word selfish, I am actually going to encourage people to be a little selfish, but we're going to change the idea of what we mean by being selfish. Selfish, unfortunately, people usually say like, self-absorbed, only thinking about ourselves, and all of that. But I actually want to kind of reclaim that idea around celebrating your birthday as a way to think about what is important to you. And this is especially because I work with a lot of people who are people pleasers, people who think about everybody else's needs before they think about their own, or at least think about, if not everybody, their parents, their kids, their spouses, their clients, their customers, their coworkers. I mean, there's a lot of people that we might put before us throughout the year for various reasons, and sometimes actually good and legitimate reasons. But this is actually an important time to really think about, well, what is important to you? What do you now we talk about needs, wants, and desires. This isn't so much about a thing, right? Like what's your birthday wish, right? But it is an important time to actually think about, well, if I truly could make a wish and get it, what is it that I really need or want, or what do I desire, right? And so when we think about it that way, especially given that opportunity, you get to blow out this candle. What is it that you need, want, and desire, and make that wish for yourself? How neat is that? It's an opportunity to think about what is really important in terms of our needs, wants, and desires, and truly giving ourselves that opportunity to think about what is really important to us. It gives us an opportunity, especially if we share. Now, when we blow our candle, we don't share, right? We don't just secret wish. That's the, as the saying goes. But even to say, well, what do I want to do for dinner for my birthday? Or people ask for a gift idea or something to do for our birthday. By expressing what we truly want, first, it gives us a realization of what we actually truly want, but it also gives us an opportunity to share with the people who would ask, or who we're closest to, who we're going to share our special day with, right? And so in that, it gives us an opportunity to, when we express our needs, wants, and desires, it gives us the opportunity to be seen, known, and heard. And so I just thought those were some neat things to think about, and especially, like I said, really then thinking about what is important to you, because when you know what is important to you, then you know what is driving you, and how then you can make it happen. Now, I always encourage, when you do this, it encourages other people to do that too. So when you do this, then it encourages the people that you care about to express their needs and wants and desires. Now we're kind of getting into some love language things here too. So we think about it that way, because when we're sharing that with the people that we really, love and care about, and that love and care about us, then it gives us an opportunity for give and take relationships. So what a wonderful birthday gift that is. That's kind of cool. So I hope that you enjoyed my talk about this personal new year, and also some ideas about meeting your needs, wants, and desires, and encouraging other people in your life to have their needs, wants, and desires met as well. Now, I do have a blog post that I wrote, and I will add it in the description here. It actually talks about some more therapeutic things that I do associated sometimes with birthday issues, and a little bit of a longer dialogue. And I wrote that for some colleagues that I was doing a training for. But I thought I'd share it here. It's more kind of addressing our clients, but when I give examples, sometimes it might help my readers as well. So with that, I wish you a wonderful day. Go out and get your needs, wants, and desires met. Express yourself, whether it's your birthday or not, because then that way you are setting that model with the people that you care about. Have a great week.